It's like, I want everyone to know that my pronouns are Mr.
Well, I did change it up recently.
Oh, yeah?
Mr. Is and the Comedians.
Mr. Is in the comedian. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Getting my Bobby Boy back.
You're having a margarita. You're having a Sunday fun day.
Hell yeah.
Taco Villa. See, I didn't know this. They'll sell you the mix, and then they'll give you a little single bottle, little airplane bottle,
Yep.
and that's cool.
You just got to buy a little $1 burrito.
Huh. That's good to know. Which is not all the Taco Bellas have booze, right? Just the cantinas, right?
I guess, bro. Yeah, because we only got, 2?
Yeah, there's a Taco Bell cantina at 4th and like near Slide, and then there's one at like 98th and Slide. I don't know if any of the other ones.
No, there's one on Milwaukee too.
There's Milwaukee. Okay,
I think they all sell it, bro.
Oh, okay. Good to know. If you need to get fucked up, go to Taco Villa.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to be talking about political parties because you don't know which party you should align with, right?
I don't know anything about politics, to be honest, bro.
Yeah.
All I know is that joke that I made back in the day when we were kids, the fucking I'm just a bill and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
That's all I know. Just
Really?
that one part.
So everything you know is from that single cartoon
That one cartoon.
from Schoolhouse Rocks.
You know, anybody ask me my political anything, it's
You're like, I'm just a bill.
I'm just a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill, and I don't know where I go from there.
That's so fucking funny. Well, you know, and that was the introduction because those were made in like the 70s and 80s, and that taught kids about shit, and now kids are fucking illiterate, non-binary lasagnas.
They're all me, bro. They're all me.
Yeah. Because even, you know, I mean, you weren't paying attention back then. You had bigger fish to fry. You had stuff going on outside of school, you know, having kids and stuff.
Homeless being shot at by gangs.
Yeah. You go watching a couple of guys beat the shit out of your landlord.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
God damn, that was
normal
funny.
childhood shit.
Normal childhood. So, you know, it makes sense that you didn't pay attention. What I know mostly is from college.
Yeah.
Because I took a lot of history classes. I took a lot of political science classes. And I was radicalized. Not really, no.
Yeah,
but I don't have near as much interest in politics anymore because they're kind of stupid and fucking dumb and they separate people. Because, like, you know, Roy is very openly like a Trump dude. But I don't think he's into the politics of it. He's into the culture of it and fucking, but I could care less. So
true.
Let's go to where do you stand on certain issues? Like what is like?
Let's just say, bro, I grew up always identifying and saying I was Democrat.
Okay.
But I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Everybody in the hood is Democrat.
Yeah, well, and that makes sense because the Democrats have largely, historically, since the Civil Rights Movement, at the very least, the Democratic Party is more aligned with you know, Black and Hispanic voters, and then liberal white voters.
Yeah, to be straight up, just to be straight up. So all I knew as a child was Blacks and Mexicans vote Democrat, white people vote Republican. Yeah. Republicans are racist. Like that was literally the ignorant mindset in the hood.
That is not. I mean, as a white liberal, that's not that different than what I thought. Like when I was in my early 20s, when I was in early to mid 20s. I mean, there are some people that still think that.
Yeah.
But it's all about where you grow up and stuff. But but the people creating like social welfare programs, those tend to be the Democrats, the liberals, you know, the people. But, you know, I mean, what's his name? FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, created the Social Security system, which, you know, Republicans trying to dismantle for a long time. So it's different because, I mean, now if you are you know, pro-choice, if you think a woman should be able to get an abortion, you're probably a Democrat or liberal-leaning. If you are pro-life and don't think they should get abortions, you're Republican. It used to not always be that way. There were pro-choice Republicans, and now there's not anymore.
There's no in-between?
Not really. Not much. There's nobody that would vote for – there's not many people that would vote for a Republican and also be pro-choice. There are some that are like, oh, certain situations or whatever, but it's by and large, that is a party issue. Like if you believe in small government and you Republican, except when it comes to telling women what they can do with their bodies. That the government should be allowed to do that. It's real hypocritical, I think. I view the Republican Party is much more hypocritical than that, but that's my side. And Roy would probably tell you different if he were sitting here,
I'm just trying to learn, brother. I'm trying to
No,
learn.
I got you. Where do you stand now, or do you even know?
That's what we gonna find out.
That's what we find out.
My first thing I was gonna ask you is, I've always heard Democrat, Republican. Obviously, I know what that is. What the fuck is Marxist?
Oh, Marxist would be socialism. That's so Karl Marx. Was he German? I should know these things. Karl Marx was a German. He wrote. He was a lot of writer, but the Communist Manifesto is what he is known for, and that was adopted by a lot of people, but particularly by Lenin, and then the Marxists in Russia, and then there was the Russian Revolution, the Bolsheviks, and all that shit.
So what do they believe that makes them bad?
Basically that with socialism, communism, the people or the government controls everything. They assign you a job. They say, okay, this is what, and with that, and the government, has the means of production. Like they're the ones who control the oil industry. They're the ones that control the steel industry. So they can set the prices and things. And in theory, that should work, except that you have greedy motherfuckers that, start, pooling the money and all this stuff. And people like Stalin who set themselves up as dictators. But, right now, in a lot of ways, Trump is setting himself up in kind of a dictatorial sort of role. And he was completely democratically elected. So there are people that... But the reason that a lot of people don't like socialism is because they're taking people's choices away. You can't choose which doctor you go to because the government tells you, this is your doctor, we pay for your health care. But we've never had a socialist medicine system in America, so they don't really know what it would look like.
So it's kind of like back in Kings and shit, Kings and Queens?
Not exactly like that, because they were just like, pay us taxes and you're on your own. This would be like, pay us taxes and we'll take care of you.
Can you own anything?
Yeah. You can own things. But you are not going to have like an extravagant lifestyle, because a socialist system would not allow for millionaires and billionaires, hypothetically. Now,
anti-capitalism.
Yeah, it is. And capitalism too, free market capitalism, like unrestrained capitalism, allows, Jeff Bezos to fucking lower his prices on Amazon, put his competitors out of business, and then he raises his prices.
Create a monopolies.
Exactly. And that's what capitalism. So you could say like extreme conservative right is for unrestrained capitalism. People can do whatever. You can exploit people because no one says you can. And then the other side of that, the far left, is like, oh, the government should be telling businesses how they should set their prices and what. So it's you got two. And then where most people fall are very much in the middle, but they fall one side or the other. They're a little bit more. So your Republicans are going to be on the right side of that. They're not going to be totally, they believe in, oversight and things with business. And then on the other side, you have Democrats. They don't believe that, the government should control everything, but they do believe that there should be some more, like Bernie Sanders would say, hey, we need socialized medicine in this country. It's fucked up if you get sick and you're paying taxes, you're doing this. We're sending all this money to other countries to help them to fight wars, military, and that's very Republican. Republicans tend to be very, very pro-military.
So Marxist and socialism is basically the same.
Yeah. Marxism and socialism. Yeah, you would put those. Yeah, those.
Communism, is that the same?
Yeah,
thing?
Communism is in the same realm. Communism is a more extreme version of socialism. And communism is what they have like in China.
So that's why we feared it in America.
Yeah. And it was, we had this thing called the Red Scare where when Stalin was in power in the Cold War, because we thought those motherfuckers were going to blow us up because it was a battle of two ideologies. But we're not so much talking about history. We're talking about like the politics now.
Yeah. I'm just I always hear
putting it into context. So Marxism, socialism. Yeah, there have been countries that have tried that, but a lot of what you have in Europe, like in France, like in the Netherlands, Switzerland, I'm not sure about Switzerland. I don't know as much about Sweden. They have sort of a blended thing. So they have capitalism, but they also have a lot of socialist stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Like in Poland. So a lot of the EU is not fully socialist, but it's not fully capitalist either. It's kind of a blend, what they call a blended economy, and that's what I think would be better for America if we had like, okay, yeah, we still have millionaires and billionaires that can amass their wealth, but we also have fucking, if you get sick and you go to the doctor, it doesn't cost you a fucking ton of money if you don't have insurance. Little kids aren't going to go hungry because their parents don't have the money to feed them or whatever. The school provide, and some people fucking think that schools shouldn't provide lunches for kids.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It is stupid. It is stupid. Yeah,
if we provide food for inmates, why the fuck are we not going to provide food for kids?
Right, we'll feed the inmates. We're not going to feed the inmates' kids.
Yeah, we're not going to feed the kids.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm actually at one point in here. I'm going to ask you there's these political spectrum surveys where you can ask a series of questions. And it'll tell you what your political, like, what do you believe, and it'll tell you what your political.
Oh, I'm down. Whatever you want.
So yeah, but we'll do that towards the end of this.
So what's I'm just throwing out shit that I've heard, bro.
Yeah, sure.
What's a fascist?
A fascist would be like what Hitler was. So they take over the government and they tell people what to do. Like this is my ideology. I don't want anybody in the government that does not fully believe in my. Because Hitler, I mean, if you were like they were not only were they putting Jews and Slavs and gay people and trans people and stuff into concentration camps, they were also putting like disabled people. Like if you were like someone with Down syndrome, the Nazis killed tons of them.
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
I didn't know.
Yeah, they because anybody he believed in the fascist thing was built around the Aryans, people like the perfect man, blonde hair, blue eyed, which Hitler was not.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny.
Yeah, so it is pretty funny. But the thing is with fascism is a lot of people think that the American Republican Party is taking on a lot of fascists, and I don't know if it's fully but Trump definitely, because he's firing tons of people in the government that don't agree with him. And that's how he's going to push. That's how Hitler got to power. He was getting rid of people that didn't agree with him. That way, he didn't have any barriers to this. So I kind of see. I don't see Trump as a Hitler type. I don't think he's going to be sending people to concentration camps. But he's definitely going to get rid of people that are going to disagree with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
it sucks.
I don't know a lot with politics and shit.
That's fascism. I'm not saying Trump is a fascist. He definitely has some fascist tendencies.
And shit. Mm-hmm. Now, what I think I see, man, just kind of like from a layman's term and kind of uneducated or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't have too much either way, bro. You can't have too much of the Republican mindset. Yeah. You damn sure can't have too much of the liberal mindset.
You need the balance.
We all live in this motherfucker together. You have to compromise. You have to equally compromise. Yeah. And then you got to think, you got 4 different generations living together at one time.
At least.
So, I was talking about it from a homosexual perspective the other day with my homeboy. You got to think about
the gay guy, a gay friend of yours?
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, he's like against some of the LGBT shit that goes on.
Yeah.
But like what we were talking about was, these old motherfuckers, they grew up in a time when homosexuality wasn't even allowed.
No, it was illegal.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Then I would put us as the next generation.
Yeah.
We are the ones that were accepting, but we were like, there's 3, gay, straight, bi, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we were accepting of it.
Yeah, sure.
Then you got the next generation that's a little more accepting, but I started to see more of the pull
younger millennials, Gen Z, yeah.
Like call me it, call me they, and it's like, okay.
They, them, yeah.
And now it's just like, they're trying to push too much society into this. And it's like, look, you want equality. Equality, you want to be brought in and equal, but you don't want to come in and try to force everybody to be you.
Yeah.
Because then you get the pushback that we got. Where you got all
there is a lot of pushback because I mean we had gotten to the point where gay was mainstream.
Yeah,
I mean there were gay characters on TV shows. There were that wasn't an issue. And once like Republicans and conservative people are like, all right, well I guess I'm going to have to deal. Then you have they're not ready for the trans and the non-binary and the drag story hour and stuff. And that's like people like my mom. I've got no problem with that. There are people that are like, oh, they're trying to make kids trans. No, they're not. No one's trying to make kids trans. If a kid, there's a thing called gender affirming care. Have you heard about that? No. Where it's like a thing where if you know, like one of your kids or something was like, I was born a boy, but I feel like I want to be a girl. Like you take them to like a doctor or something, and they're like, okay, we're going to get you on hormones. A lot of people think that if you're under 18, you should not be allowed to do that. You shouldn't even be able to like dress in a way that like I'm dressed as a boy, but I was born a girl or whatever. I don't care about that. I don't have kids. It's not an issue I'm ever going to have to deal with. But people like my mom, she's got a grandchild. You know, she's worried about like, well, what if she's confused when she's older and someone, you know, she cuts her tits off or whatever when she's 17 and, you know.
My friend is hardcore against children being transitioned and he's gay.
Yeah.
He lives as a woman now.
Yeah.
You know,
really?
Yeah.
So so you have a friend who transitioned from male to female.
He didn't get the surgery though.
Okay.
But he lives as a woman.
Yeah. And so just dresses and presents long hair.
Calls himself his name, female name.
Yeah. So are you familiar with like dead naming and all that shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I wasn't sure if
he's already talked to me. Like, bro, I'm like.
So are you okay? Does he?
It's like we're ignorant, bro. Like he knows that I grew up in the hood. Like I'm not coming from.
Do you call your friend by the new name or the old name?
No, I've learned now.
Yeah.
I fucked up a couple of times.
Sure.
You know, but
so
now
when you're with your friend, do you say her instead of him?
Nah. Nah. But I don't really say I don't say he, her. I say the name.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
this is Angelina Jolie. I don't know why she chose that name.
No, but you feel what I'm saying? Though?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm talking about. I think that's the problem with society, bro. Is like we don't understand that each person went through a different thing generationally.
Oh, absolutely.
And so for you to think everybody's going to start saying fucking he, her, he, him, shim, whatever the fuck, you're asking a lot from the older generations to compromise.
You're exactly right. This you know this shit. This is because like my grandpa, if he were alive, he would be 98 years old. He was born in 1927. And I didn't hear, like when I was younger, he would say like the N-word because was just what you called black people back then. Yeah. And then in the 60s, 70s, after the civil rights movement, they're like, oh, they're colored, and then they're African American, and then they're just black. And he had to learn a new thing every time, but he kept up with it because he was a good person and he didn't want to be viewed as hateful or whatever. Were there any black people at the retirement home he grew up at? None that live there, probably on the staff. But so it's like that thing where you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
No.
And I can learn these things, but to make somebody feel bad, like I was talking to a group of women a while back, and they were one of them was trans, and I think the rest of them were like, gay or whatever. And I was talking about like, well, what's more insulting to like a trans person or non-binary person, to misgender them or to just call them like a bad name? And they're like, this discussion's over. And I'm like, the fuck? I ask a legitimate question. I want to know because like, it was like when that actor Ezra Miller, the one that played the Flash, like non-binary, and in every article, they're like, Ezra Miller's a piece of shit. They're a piece of shit. They weren't saying he. And I'm like, wow, you're saying this person's a piece of shit, but you're not going to misgender them. And I just thought that was so funny. I thought it was so funny. They're like, we wouldn't want to dare misgender you, but you're a fucking piece of shit, asshole, schizophrenic.
Yeah.
They, them are. It was so weird. And I'm like, why can't we have these discussions? I want to ask. And some people just do not want to be. They're like, you could go and look up scholarly articles. And I'm like, I want to ask a real person.
No, then everybody wants to be too like, everybody wants to be the victim.
It is a victim mentality.
Everybody wants to be like, don't pick on me, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
That's another thing, man. The part of life is you're going to get bullied. You're going to get picked on.
Yeah.
You got to develop a thick skin. And that's another thing my gay friend talks about.
Yeah.
Because he's like, bro, I got called
gays have
gay
the thickest skin.
Word, and all this shit. And he's like, and it didn't do nothing but make me stronger.
Yeah.
But the younger generation of gays seem to be like, no.
Oh, they just want it handed to them.
You're hurting me with your words. And you're like, what?
And I think there should be a middle road too, because asking a question, like if I say, oh, you piece of shit, whatever. No, I don't feel that way. I have the potential to like anybody. It's when they start acting like an asshole is like, that's when I get, you know. Okay, so as we go, I'm going to kind of check off some of these questions on this. This one actually has to do with what we're talking about. What do you agree, disagree, or say maybe about this? Adults should have full bodily autonomy, meaning the government should not interfere with decisions affecting their bodies. So like trans or abortion or whatever. Do you agree, disagree, or say maybe adults should be able to do whatever they want with their own body?
Agree.
All right, cool. So that would be, so when it comes to like abortion, if there's a woman who, for whatever reason, it shouldn't matter, she just got pregnant, she doesn't want to be pregnant, should she be able to have an abortion?
It's her body.
I think so.
But can I counter?
You can, yeah, of course.
So I agree. I agree women have every right to do what they want with their body.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something that I have asked and I've never got a response on. Okay. The ideal is that you should be married, then have a child.
I mean, that's the traditional, yeah.
But hardly ever fucking happens. It always happens out of wedlock.
Sure.
Now, what happens if this chick gets pregnant, she don't want the kid, but the father wants the child? Does he have no right over that child that is technically his inside of her stomach?
I don't think he should. It's as long as it is in her body. But here's the thing: whenever she gives birth to the child, and it's what they say viable outside the womb, then she's gonna be responsible. I don't know if a woman can just be like, here, you know, but she shouldn't have to carry something if she doesn't want to. Like, say she's 6 weeks pregnant, she should have to like wait another 7 or 8 months with the fetus in her before.
Well, I was just saying, let me counter again, though. Like, here's the way the system's set up, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Well, from my understanding, I would say.
Yeah.
So right now, if a woman gets pregnant and she wants to abort, she has every right to abort. The man has no say in his child.
In states where abortion is legal,
considered a child. On the flip side, if the man wants that child aborted and she decides she don't want to abort it and goes full term, he now is responsible for a child he didn't want for 18 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but how come that? Where's the fairness? Is what I'm looking at.
No, you are right. So it's her body until it's out of that, and then it's his money he's got to pay child support for.
These are just questions I ask. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's a hard question because a
man can't have a baby on his own. So we can't abort a baby.
Well, and neither can a woman unless she goes to a sperm donor. And then the case of like if she went to a sperm bank, the guy who donated the sperm, he's not responsible. There was a story that I hear happen. So this woman blew a guy. She blew a guy, or he fucked her with a condom or something. Somehow he used protection or did it in such a way. She saved the jizz, put it in herself, got pregnant, and he ended up having to pay child support and the judge said, well, since you nutted in or on her or something, that constitutes a gift and she can do whatever she wants with that jizz.
Yeah.
So there was actually a really funny movie called The Square where there was a scene where the woman, she's like, here, give me the condom. I'm going to go throw it away. And he's like, no, let me throw it away. She's like, what, you don't trust me? It was really funny. It was really fucking funny.
No, but that would be my answer. I would agree. Yeah. Everybody has the right to their own body, but I have those questions.
Yeah, sure. Of course. So this one is a little bit different, but it's in the same realm of questions. The government should not censor speech, the press, or internet content directly or indirectly. So the government shouldn't like be saying you can't say this, you can't say that, or shut down internet or the press or whatever. Do you agree, disagree, or maybe?
I agree the government shouldn't, but I got questions on this one.
Okay, what are the questions you have?
The questions are censorship should never happen of any type.
Right.
Man, my mom always calling your podcast.
Wow.
Anyways, it shouldn't happen of any type, but there should be some modifications for like online bullying and shit that got these
people
kids
should be held responsible.
Themselves.
Yeah. I mean, well, because a lot of people post shit on the internet completely anonymously, and that's it. So like you have people catfishing, so that's a little harder when you get it. But I mean, I've seen people be straight up pieces of shit on Facebook with their real name there. Well, what I think is their real name, it might be a Russian bot.
Yeah,
but
maybe not the government, but yeah, definitely I agree that like Facebook and them need to monitor their shit better, and definitely make sure we got to find some way of keeping kids off.
Yeah,
but that's more of a parent.
Well,
thing.
and the thing is, Mark Zuckerberg, big Trump supporter, him and Elon are put a lot of money into Trump's campaign so they could have restrictions lifted so they don't have to be responsible. So if they don't have to be responsible, the government said, no, the government shouldn't be censoring these things. The companies that are putting these things forth should be like, because did you hear Facebook doesn't fact check things anymore. So after that, it's like, what was it? Like Mark Zuckerberg is a pedophile or Mark Zuckerberg is this because they're not fact checking. Yeah. So.
But I mean, if you're getting your facts from the internet, you're a fucking idiot.
It is. If you're getting your facts from Facebook, you're a fucking idiot.
Like any social media.
Yeah. I mean, they're factual. There are a lot of good websites on the internet, but they're like from, colleges and
there's
organizations.
Biases in all of them.
Yeah.
There's biases in all of them.
Well, okay, let's move on to this. The government should not monitor personal conversations, correspondence, or search private property without a warrant.
True.
Yeah, I agree with that fully. Because, I mean, back when you remember Edward Snowden, that's what the NSA was monitoring people under Obama. I mean, and that's what we think of in Russia, when they were still under communist control, and I mean, even still to a certain extent, they monitor the fuck out of people. The KGB tapping phones, certain words you say, they'll bust in and arrest you because they tapped your phone. You saying something about, we're gonna kill this guy, or we're gonna, even something, yeah. What do you think about that? Like, because I mean, you were doing things that weren't always, in your younger days when you were a minor, But
I mean, we didn't have social media. We didn't
have. But I mean, tapping phones and stuff. I mean, you never got in any legal trouble, did you?
No.
Good.
But I mean,
just
like the movies, dog. You always taught use cash. Yeah. Don't talk on the phone.
Be smart about it.
Don't don't do anything to incriminate yourself.
If you want to know how to do crimes, watch The Wire.
Watch The Wire.
If you want to know how they catch people doing crimes, watch The Wire.
Watch any mob movie. Use cash. Don't leave a paper trail.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think, dude, but I mean, a lot of shit now is I think a lot of shit, they don't even care anymore, bro. I mean, it's crazy. Like in Amarillo, they were trying to pass a law saying if you could get in trouble, you could get arrested for driving a woman across the border into New Mexico to get an abortion if you used roads in Amarillo.
That's just stupid, bro.
Yeah, it didn't pass. Thank God. The people in Amarillo were smart enough. Lubbock passed a law like that, but there's no roads here that you can.
That's another thing.
Sanctuary city for the unborn.
That's another thing that I'll push back on is the whole religious thing.
Yeah,
where you're trying to have the United States be a Christian country or whatever, and they always argue that it was made by Christian or whatever. Yeah. But I've heard a lot
not really, no.
Yeah, that it was multiple religious beliefs and not religious.
Well,
beliefs.
And you had guys from a lot of different religious backgrounds because you have, a Baptist isn't going to have the same political views as a Catholic, and they're not going to have the same political views as a Jewish person or a Muslim. But yeah, even Christian denomination. But a lot of our founding fathers were what they call Gnostic. So they didn't believe in the divine power. They believed that it was good lessons, that Thomas Jefferson in particular, he wrote a version of the Bible where he took out all the miracles because he's like, I don't buy this miracle shit. I buy that Jesus was a real person. He did good things, but the miracles,
Yeah.
Yeah, and because those guys were intellectuals. How many intellectual, super smart guys into politics do you know they're super Christian too? Not fucking many of them.
Not many.
Those are two different. There are people that believe in both, but not to the extreme.
Well, I just get mad because you always hear as a kid that separation of church and state. Yeah. Yet it seems like there is no separation. Of church and state. Not. I mean, not to the point because they're trying to do this thing where your taxes, your kids are in school and shit. They go to public school, right? Mm-hmm. Your taxes are going to pay for that. There are people here in this town that are like, I shouldn't have to pay taxes that send kids to school if I send my kids to a private school. I want to be able to use vouchers for my own tax money to pay for my kid's private school. That's a separation of church and state issue. If you're sending your kid to a religious school, your tax money should not go to educating them about things that are religious. But that's just my opinion. And that gets into a weird thing, how much control should you have over your children's education and stuff? Because some people homeschool their kids. Yeah.
I was homeschooled for junior high and high school, but it was a little bit for religion, but not,
Yeah.
I didn't lose my virginity until I was
Well,
23.
here's a controversial. I'm gonna say real quick.
Shoot, man.
One.
Go for it.
I feel that the school should just educate the children and give us true education, not some bullshit education.
Yeah.
And it's a parent's job to teach you religion and sexuality.
Yeah.
Not the school.
So you don't think the religion should be teaching anything about sexuality or anything?
No, I'm saying the school shouldn't have religion or sexuality at all.
Okay. They just teach the kids. So that's an interesting take. And I know a lot of people that believe like that they should teach that, but abstinence only. Like, okay, here's dicks, here's pussies. Don't put them together.
Like in science, you can teach like this human body and you can teach reproduction. But I'm saying like I'm getting into like the sexuality.
Yeah, like here's how you put a condom on a cucumber.
You're this. Yeah. All that needs to be left outside of the school. Same thing with the religion. Don't be having them read the Bible and pray and like get all that out.
That makes sense. So here's your next question. There should be no laws against public assembly nor government control a peaceful private association. So people like having like a peaceful
protest.
Yeah. So like, because there was like the Black Lives Matter, and then some motherfucker drove a car through it.
No. But that's what I was just about to say, dog. I agree there should be no government interference in peaceful protests, but don't be fucking hogging up the goddamn street being a fucking idiot.
That's hard.
Like, come on, man. Like, they're an asshole for driving through them. I'm not going to justify. That's criminal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're now fucking with everybody else's life.
Yeah.
And that's not cool, bro. Get on the side of the road, yell and scream all you want, but don't be in the fucking road blocking everybody else.
Well, there were free Palestine protests in New York City on the interstate that people couldn't get to the airport.
Yeah,
people were missing their flights.
I don't agree with that shit at all. Like, don't be getting in everybody's way.
Yeah, and I mean, those people would make the argument like, well, nobody's going to listen to us unless we're fucking up shit. But that's just going to make people mad. That's going to be worse for your cause.
That goes back to what I was
because they're like, I'll kill 5 Palestinians right now if I can get to my flight on time.
No, but like it goes back to what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, instead of equality, now you're trying to force everybody to be your way. What does it do? It makes them, like you said, well, now I hate your cause.
Yeah.
I hate what you're drawing attention to.
Well,
because you're fucking with me.
Yeah. I believe when it comes to issues in this fucking country, like the Free Palestine even in America. Yes, America is Trump is doing shit over there, but like one thing that I agree with historically, did you ever watch the movie Selma or know anything about MLK? Like
I know somewhat about MLK. So
they marched. They marched on a highway, crossed a bridge, and it kind of fucked shit up. But that helped the cause because these people were not being allowed to vote in America. They had the right to, but like there were poll taxes. You had white people being like, you can't vote here, N-word or whatever, So those kind of protests, I think, it's weird to say these are more important protests than these,
Yeah,
but it's just, but everybody has rights now.
And then we're talking about different time periods.
Time periods. Current time, okay, here's the next one. It keeps into that. Law enforcement, the popos, should focus their resources on crimes against innocent people and property instead of victimless crimes, like selling weed, like, some woman's just, selling a little bit of pussy, nobody's making her, she's of age, she's an adult, those are like the victimless crimes. Cops shouldn't be fucking with that.
I think every crime should be looked at, not looked at, you know what I'm saying? But there are levels and degrees. You get what I'm saying? Like, because a crime is a crime, bro. And I mean, I'm talking about somebody
who's very logical,
who did some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still a crime. Yeah. It's still not good. But there shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be going to prison for life for selling weed.
Nope.
You shouldn't be going to prison for fucking selling pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit.
So is that an agree or a maybe?
I'm going to put a maybe on that one because I'm in the middle on that one.
Got it. Yeah, I got you. Well, come on, switch. Okay, economic issues. Here we go. The government should stay out of healthcare, allowing people to form and choose healthcare plans, associations, and charities freely. So that's like the government shouldn't, like this is kind of, I think, in realms of socialized medicine, the government should stay out of healthcare and let people do their own thing. But the government has let people do their own thing, and they've let like insurance companies fucking control so much stuff. So
I don't. But like
government, they should stay out of healthcare and allow people to form and choose health plans, associations, and charities freely. Agree, maybe, disagree.
I put a maybe, and then I want to emphasize on that
let's
one.
hear it.
So like, one thing that I've always thought about, and it probably is a system. I don't know, bro. I've always thought, why don't we have some kind of like socialized healthcare for those of us that are in need? So like all of our children until 18 should be free.
Yeah.
And then people of a certain age till they die should be free.
Yeah.
And then anybody with a disability, you know, like where you can't physically work,
right?
Then you should have it. But everybody else, we kind of should have to fend for ourselves because we're able-bodied. And one thing, I don't know, like for me, I've never had insurance. I still don't have insurance to this day. I can't afford the shit. So like for me to get it with my job, I have to insure myself, then insure my family.
Right, yeah.
And it fucking starts getting into like $500 a month. And that's like a house payment, car payment.
Yeah.
So I never had it. So I feel like if we had some system like that, like just back when I was a single father with my daughter, if she had insurance through a system with the government and all I had to worry about was paying for myself, I would have been insured.
Yeah, sure. That,
you feel what I'm saying?
That makes sense because, I mean, you've got hella kids right now. So
no, but I'm saying even when I was a single father.
Even when you were a single father, just responsible for your daughter. Yeah. I mean, and that's, so I worked in children's homes for a while. All of those kids, CPS, or most of them, they all were insured. They all had Medicare, Medicaid. I think it was Medicare. So anytime they needed braces, anytime they needed fucking their medications, go to the doctor, scrape their knee, fucking this little girl has lice, whatever the fuck, you know, it was taken care of. And yeah, it should be that way. Kids shouldn't have to suffer because their parents don't have the money to pay for their insurance. Because that is how insurance plans work. You got to get your own, and then you got to pay for your kids. Luckily, I have a job right now. I work for the state. My insurance is fully paid for. Now, if I had kids or if I had a spouse that was uninsured, I would have to pay extra. I don't have to pay a dime for mine. I just have my copays. When I go to the doctor, it's $25. If I see a specialist, it's $40. You know, so it's great. And I think like even for low income people, there should be like subsidized insurance. So you're not having to pay like $500 a month if you're only making, you know, $2,000. You should have to spend
somebody said that we pay more than any other country in the world on that. That's fucking stupid.
We do. Yeah. I went and saw, so probably like over a decade ago, I went and saw Bill Clinton speak. You know, he was former president at that time. He was talking about healthcare, and he said, did you know that America spends more money on our healthcare? If we spend so much money on our healthcare, we could have socialized medicine. And if everybody paid that much, and some guy's like, bullshit. I'm like, dude, shut up. I was like, shut up, man. I'm trying to listen to him. Be respectful here. That guy was president. You're stupid. He knows more than you. I didn't say all this. I was just like, dude, quiet. I'm trying to listen. He's bullshit. It was an old man. I think his daughter was a student, or so. He was mostly talking to college students. It was on college campus, but yeah, no, we do pay more money. We could easily have socialized medicine in this country based on how much money we pay.
And like I said, fucking even if you just give it to those that need it, the rest of us able-bodied motherfuckers can be working and paying our own shit if we have to.
This one we already talked about. Let parents educate their children according to their beliefs and preferences, free from government interference. So, like, when it comes to, like, I mean, if you have motherfuckers that want to teach their kids that the Holocaust never happened, those people shouldn't be teaching their kids. But if you have, like, I don't want to teach my 10-year-old about trans non-binary yet. I want to teach them, and the school wants to. Yeah, that's a thing. Or I want to.
I mean, they would still learn the Holocaust in school, hopefully, because we teach.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are motherfuckers that want that not to be taught in school.
Oh, no, but that's what I would say. We should have that in the school system.
Well, and they want to teach people that, like, the slaves were just our friends that, like, hung out, and we didn't, like, kidnap anybody and enslave anyone because it makes the white kids feel bad now.
This is what I want, too. Like, speaking of this subject, kind of. So, as much as we talk about the Holocaust, which I believe we should, because anything like that in history needs to be talked about so they don't repeat. We also need to talk about what happened in Tulsa with the black people.
Yeah, that was a Holocaust. Talked about enough.
But, you know, like in a sense, that was a Holocaust.
Like over 100 black people were killed.
About the Native Americans being destroyed and killed. Holocaust, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny because there's some people.
History needs to be told.
Yeah, and that thing about, you know, history is written by the victors. It shouldn't be that way.
No, bro.
It shouldn't be that way. No. Like, just because we enslaved, you know, Africans and very slowly freed them and let them have rights and Native Americans we killed off, put them on reservations. That should be taught. There should be, so that kind of shit. Yeah.
Well, because that whole, I can counter the whole fucking histories written by the victors.
Yeah.
Because, but we all contributed to the victories in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Without minorities, none of these wars would have ever.
Oh no! Without the Chinese building the railroad from the West Coast and the Irish who were treated like shit.
The Buffalo Soldiers,
Buffalo Soldiers,
the
Tuskegee Airmen,
they were Cold Talkers. The whole war has ever been won without minorities.
And those are amazing stories. I mean, you have like the fucking what was that Hidden Figures about the black women that worked in the NASA project and stuff. And yes, that wasn't the majority of people. It was mostly white dudes. But we do need to recognize that there were black women who were doing this shit. There were Native Americans that helped us win World War II.
And then another thing that I think would help with this whole racial bullshit is if they would show that not all white people were the same either.
No. And
Irish, there was slang words for Irish people coming here.
Oh, yeah.
Italian people coming here.
Oh, yeah. Your mix, your Dagos, your Guineas, your
nobody was
Polacks, Okay, here we go. Here's your next question. Replace government welfare. So like Social Security, fucking, welfare programs, food stamps. That should be replaced with private charity and mutual aid. Do you know enough charitable motherfuckers to? No, I don't either. No. I think we should because a lot of people that are against that, like Jason Cave, who's a libertarian, and a few other people. I mean, he's one that I can. He doesn't think that there should be taxes should not pay for food stamps and WIC and everything for single mothers. Nobody's going to pay for that shit unless the government does. Yep. Nobody's going to help out. The poor single mom, and she could be black, white, Hispanic, mixed race, whatever.
Most white people are on.
Yeah, a lot of white people are on welfare.
The majority of them are on
more white people are on welfare than
and it's not a racial thing.
It's not. Like, it's a socioeconomic thing.
Exactly, and like social behaviors. You know what I'm saying?
So you disagree with that?
I disagree with that. Bro.
I heard that a long time ago. Like, we should let churches and charity organizations take over. Like, no, there's not enough of them.
Bullshit. They won't.
And you know how I know that there's not? Because what are billionaires doing? They're amassing their wealth. They're not like some of them, like Bill Gates is helping a lot. Warren Buffett gives a lot of money away, but there are not enough of those motherfuckers to help everybody.
But they don't do it because they want to. They do it for you're absolutely right.
Here we go. Central banks. This one's a weird one. Central banks should be abolished, allowing people to freely choose and exchange their preferred currency. This is a libertarian question. So like that means like cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, all that stuff. That's why libertarians like that, because you can use it anywhere. I can go to fucking Asia and use it. I can use it in America, and it has the same value everywhere. That would fuck up everything if
that pushes back the dollar, right?
Yeah, it pushes back the dollar, but I mean, poorer countries, their money's not worth as much. That's why you can go to fucking Thailand, and the American dollar goes a lot further. You can go to Eastern European countries. It's getting less that way now. Your money doesn't go as far, but I mean, it's so.
I think on that one, I would say I don't really know because I don't know a lot, but I can say that diminishing the American dollar probably is a national defense issue.
Yeah,
as much as we hate it.
Yeah, it's our economy. I mean, it would fuck up the economy. I mean, because American policy should help American people. American policy should help American people. That's what I think, and that would fucking destroy
and then drop our rank around the world and shit. Like,
okay, this one's a little bit so lift government restrictions on economic activity and enable courts to adjudicate civil and criminal law violations. That's a weird one. Lift government restrictions on economic. So like government getting involved in like economic stuff, which it's enable courts to adjudicate civil and criminal law violations. Yeah, that one's
confusing as fuck.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the way it's worded is a little heady. I'll throw a maybe on there.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is what you're trying to figure out. So. Which label best reflects your views? Libertarian, progressive, or moderate? So libertarian is like let people decide what they want. Make no laws, no taxes, nothing. Progressive would be the other way, and then moderate is kind of more in the middle.
I guess middle.
Yeah, moderate. Okay. So conservative. So which label? Oh wait, shit. Is this? Oh, okay. So sorry. They have two rows. So libertarian. I told you what that is. Progressive, moderate, conservative, authoritarian, or unsure. You can be unsure. I guess you could. So you're definitely not conservative or authoritarian. So would you say moderate or unsure?
I guess moderate.
Moderate. Okay, cool. Middle, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah. So which political slogan appeals to you the most? Which one of these?
All right.
Freedom to choose, always. Forward together for all. Tradition, strength, freedom. Balance, stability, civility. Order, obedience, discipline.
Oh, the forward together forever.
That's what I would say too. All right, me and you are pretty similar on this. So let's see. I put the answers in. So let's see. Oh, fucking! It wants me to create it. I'm not creating an account. I'm just gonna sign up through Facebook. It'll tell you though. Like, whoops! Something went wrong. Let's see. Personal. Okay, you're progressive. You are. I am also a progressive man. So yeah, we're progressives.
So we're the insurance company.
We're progressive. Yeah, progressive. Is that?
Call me Flo.
No, it's Flo's from Geico, isn't she?
I thought she was from Progressive.
Maybe she's from Progressive.
Geico's the
yeah, you're right. Geico's the gecko. Yeah, and the caveman.
It's a gidget.
The gidget. Yeah, yeah. See, I will also say I fall more progressive. And dude, you want to know who my celebrity crush is? My weird of all who would everybody wants to fuck Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah.
But what's the weird one? For me, Flo from Progressive. Flo from Progressive is hot as shit, man. I love her. There was a woman I matched with on a dating app. She had she looked a lot like her, and there was like a Halloween costume. She was dressed as her. Yeah.
You're taking her over the AT&T girl?
Oh God, no, Milana Vontra.
The big titties.
Yeah, AT&T girl all day. But that's not weird. She's got big titties. She's hot. No one doesn't think she's hot.
I think my crazy one would be Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm. Yeah. Yeah, the new hot black version.
I was like, damn, you see how they fucking did that white dude? They just canceled him out.
There's a
fucked up, man.
There's a comic named Jake Baker that has a bit about it. He's from Lubbock. He lives in Austin now. Yeah. So okay, do you feel like you know a lot more about the political parties now?
I mean, I understand the words that I didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's all a lot of bullshit right now. I mean, I'm not apolitical. I still vote, but I don't care near as much about it as I used to because it's not interesting to me. It's not that interesting. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. Me and Roy aren't going to agree on political things, so I don't want to talk about that shit. You know?
So this political time, I'll admit, my guy that I really wanted, I'll say the last couple of times. So I don't know if you knew who Andrew Yang was.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
That's who I was big on back then was Andrew Yang.
What appealed to you about him?
The UBI for sure.
Yeah, universal basic income is
like
not
something like that.
Something that should be ignored. People should, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, he was talking about this shit. Then look, they were talking shit about him.
Yeah.
Then we went through the fucking pandemic and everybody got UBI basically.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, I mean, that helped a lot of people out. And it's funny because I didn't get my first stimulus check until after Biden got elected, but it still had Trump's signature or whatever Trump on there.
But see, okay, so this political time, bro.
Yeah.
I actually gravitated towards Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, he kind of went crazy though.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. See, they're both part of Trump's.
Yeah, I know. They went to him.
They kissed the ring. I mean, it is one of those things where.
But it's because the fucking Democratic Party went stupid.
The Democratic Party are a bunch of fucking pussies.
They weren't keeping people that would have made them stronger.
No. They're all about appeasement and stuff. Trump and his people are like, fuck all you. I'm going to do what I want. And that's why I think he could probably be described as a fascist because there's enough, hopefully, people in positions where he won't, take dictatorial control. But, who knows? But yeah, so Robert F. Kennedy, I liked him at first because I did he's a Kennedy. And then I found out about the brain stuff and now he's very anti-vaccine. And I'm like,
but he makes a point.
Did
you look into why he was all that though?
No. I watched his Rogan episode. I get it. I just
the studies he was talking about.
I think he's a little crazy.
Because
I think he's a little nutty. Yeah. I don't know much about Tulsi Gabbard. She's hot, but that's all about.
She's fucking smart as fuck, bro.
I'm sure she is. I mean, anybody that rises to that level of government, and not like, because RFK, he's got the famous name, he's got the money, so his dad ran for president, his uncle was president, his other uncle was a senator, so I get why, but I don't think if he had the name, I don't think people would have listened to him.
I think
Tulsi Gabbard, though, I think you're probably right.
I think what appealed to me was just like, we shouldn't be anti-vax.
Yeah.
But we definitely should be letting them motherfuckers run around unrestricted.
Yeah.
And shit.
Well, I mean, did you hear about this fucking measles outbreak? Did you? Yeah. What do you think about that?
That's because
some dumb
don't want
motherfuckers.
to. But I'm saying, on the flip side, you got these fucking pharmaceutical companies that are doing all these fucking shots without caring about the repercussions and shit. So you can see where it, like I said, that's that causation, bro. It's causing the fear.
Yeah.
And then them fools are like, well, I'm not going to vaccine at all.
Yeah.
But you're like, okay, but now you're not doing the ones that are guaranteed okay.
Yeah. Well, and then you have the whole thing about stuff that people aren't even really talking about, like microplastics. Like we got microplastics in our nut sacks. There's microplastics in my balls because the government let fucking
doing a podcast. I'll call you back.
He's doing a podcast. He'll call you back. Well, we're about wrapping up.
Call you back. Bye.
Yeah.
What's up? God damn it! Let me call you back.
But yeah, I mean vaccines definitely, that's something that needs to be paid attention to. But but this is all like the FDA and Food Drug Administration. So yeah, food and drugs and everything. I mean, it needs to be looked at heavily. I don't know if RFK is the best person, but
no, but he was bringing attention.
He was bringing attention to it, and when people bring attention to things, that's always a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Hey, this was fun, dude. I'm glad we did this. You gave me the idea for this episode. So the last couple episodes we've done have been an idea. Like last time we talked about the Alamo.
I liked that a lot, bro. I liked that a lot.
So we'll have another one on where we can talk about some other issues. But hey, we'll tell people how to follow you on everything. Mr. Is.
Check me out on my YouTube page, Mr. Is WT. It's MRISWT. I got all my comedy. It's kind of a journey. You can check out every set that I've done from day one. I put them all on there, so check me out.
Yeah. Watch his evolution as a comedian. And TikTok, too, as well.
TikTok,
Mr. Is. But hey, thanks, Is, and thank you for watching the Breaking Hyman podcast.
Appreciate it.